Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Drew back again with another video for all you American soccer fans finally. And as always, we're going to talk about and break down, we'll give you guys my reaction to yet another roster announcement by Gregg Berhalter. It's going to be the first roster for 2020, which is like 3 days away for the USA. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited. This roster, of course, is going to be in preparation for the friendly game against Costa Rica in California on February 1st, 2020. So during this time, the USA is going to be training in Doha, Qatar, behind closed doors in like some training academy facility over there. So the reason, if you're wondering, like, well, why the hell are they going all the way to Qatar to train for a game that's in California like 3 weeks later? Well, the thing is, USA wants to get the World Cup, and that's a fact, okay? You know, last time we missed out, you know, it fucking hurt, okay? It still hurts. But the USA has continuously done this for every World Cup. They did it for 2010 South Africa. They went to South Africa to train there, to see the facilities, to see what kind of atmosphere they're going to be trying to get into. They did it for the 2014 Brazil World Cup. They also went there to train as well. I'm not sure if they did it for the last World Cup in Russia because, you know, USA and Russia got some beef right now, and because, you know, it was a whole shit show during that Russia qualification. And then now, of course, they're wanting to qualify for the 2020 World Cup, which is going to be unfortunately in Qatar. So they're going to go there, you know, and see what kind of like facilities and soccer stuff they're going to be seeing over there and what kind of atmosphere they're going to have. So that's going to prepare them more to get into the Hex, which is also in 2020 soon. It's coming up soon in June. It's going to get their head leveled and ready to hopefully qualify for this World Cup. So that's that. That was a lot of word vomit there. But anyway, only one game, I believe, against Costa Rica. So all these players who are called up are going to have to be fighting for some minutes and fighting for a starting spot under Gregg Berhalter. So without further ado, let's just break down this team. Before we go ahead and break down this team, two things. The first thing is, be sure you guys to subscribe down below because I'm going to be breaking down every single game, every single roster announcement or roster drama for the USA next year. And there's going to be a lot of shit to talk about. We got this friendly, we got, you know, the CONCACAF Nations League semifinals, we've got the Hex coming up. There's going to be a lot of content coming up, and I want you guys to be in the know. A lot of you guys are watching and not subscribed. I can see that on my statistics. So be sure you guys subscribe. It really would mean a lot to me. Anyway, the second thing I want to talk about is, if you guys are MLS haters and you see this roster, of course you're going to be upset. Like, oh, Christian Pulisic is not in here. Weston McKennie's not in here. Tyler Adams is back, but he's still in this fucking roster. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, it's all MLS, mainly because a January roster like this is not really a FIFA international break yet, like official one. It's just, you know, some nations who are able to have friendlies can have them. Like USA right now, the MLS is on a break, is on postseason, so they have a chance to really go and make a national team roster and play a friendly game against another national team. So that's why you won't see players like Christian Pulisic or Tyler Adams in here, because they're technically still playing for their team at club level who don't have a break right now. And if they did, of course, we would have probably more European players in this roster. But for now, we're going to have to deal with all of our MLS people. And like I said earlier, this roster is actually really interesting. I'm actually really excited to see lots of these players get a call up and hopefully get some minutes in this game against Costa Rica. So without more babbling, let's just break it down. As always, we'll start at the back and then work our way to the front. At the back, starting off, of course, with the goalkeepers. The first thing you see, first of all, let's break it down. Bill Hamid, Sean Johnson, JT Marcinowski, and Matt Turner. Of course, the first thing that really points out and like sticks out is Bill Hamid. And you're like, whoa, Bill Hamid is here in a roster under Gregg Berhalter? Bill Hamid has not made an appearance for the USA since June 2018. I don't think he's got a call-up ever since. And he's never gotten a call-up under Gregg Berhalter. So this is his first call-up in like almost a year and a half. And his first call-up with Gregg Berhalter. You know, a couple weeks ago, I did make a video talking about the, you know, goalkeeper drama and goalkeeper, you know, weakness that we have in the roster for the USA teams. And first of all, highly suggest you guys check that out. You know, I talk about the problem we have with our goalkeepers right now. We don't have much goalkeepers coming up through the ranks. And the goalkeepers we have right now are not that good, minus Zach Steffen. But in that video, I did talk about Bill Hamid being a pretty decent goalkeeper. I think he's, you know, despite not being good with his feet, which is what Gregg Berhalter wants in his goalkeepers, I still think he's a pretty decent shot stopper and would be a perfect addition, at least a perfect substitute or backup to Zach Steffen as like the main second goalkeeper we can have in our roster. So hopefully he can turn Gregg Berhalter's mind and play really good in this game against Costa Rica. Because I'm rooting for you, Bill. I'm rooting for you. And it's good to see players like Matt Turner and JT Marcinowski, who plays for San Jose, but I think is under loan to Reno and the USL. If I'm wrong, please yell at me in the comments. Yeah, it's good to see these young goalkeepers still, Matt Turner making, of course, getting another call up by Gregg Berhalter. It's good to see that these goalkeepers being recognized by the board, by the national team, because we need younger goalkeepers to be recognized. We need them more in the mix. We got to get rid of players like Brad Guzan, Sean Johnson. Nothing against you, bro, but I've never been impressed with you ever. So there's room for more goalkeepers and better goalkeepers out there. But for the goalkeepers, I think it's pretty decent. Bill Hamid, I'm very excited to see. Hopefully change Gregg Berhalter's mind and hopefully show more American soccer fans that, dude, I'm a pretty fucking good goalkeeper. Let me show you. I really hope he comes out like that. Okay, this is where it goes and gets a little bit interesting. We've got the defenders, of course, now. We got Julian Arau, Reggie Cannon, Chase Gasper, Justin Glad, Aaron Long, Mark McKenzie, Sam Vines, and Walker Zimmerman. Of course, the most senior players here, of course, Aaron Long and Walker Zimmerman, which, by the way, every position on here is going to have one or two senior players. I think just to keep all these young players, give them some motivation, give them some guidance into the senior national team. Because think about it, this is not under 21 national team. This is not a youth national team. This is the main USA national team camp. So, this is the real deal for these kids getting a call-up. So all of them are, I'm sure, very, very excited to get a call-up by the national team. We got players like Julian Arau, really impressed by him so far. And some of the players on this roster I really don't know too much about, and I feel very bad about it, but that's just how I am. Reggie Cannon, of course, a freaking exciting prospect for me, a really great player to watch. Really excited to see him come into himself, really become a better player and reach his full potential, which is way better than DeAndre Edelin. And I can totally see Reggie Cannon being our star right back in 1 or 2 years, hopefully in time for the new 2020 World Cup. Aaron Long, decent, whatever. Walker Zimmerman, pretty cool. Justin Glad, I think he had a pretty good under 20 World Cup this past summer, if I can remember correctly. I'm not sure if he was actually there. I'm a fraud. Mark McKenzie, of course, from Philadelphia Union, my team, bro, that I represent. Really excited to see him get a call-up by the national team, the senior national team. I think he's a really, really good defender coming up through the ranks, still young, 19, 20 years old. He's got good pace, he's strong, he's got decent tactical awareness. I really do think he's going to be one of the mainstays in this roster, hopefully for future rosters to come. Next up, let's go ahead and talk about the midfielders, where again it gets even more exciting. We got Brendan Aronson, Christian Kappas, Brian Kao, Sebastian Lletget, Paxton Pomykal, Christian Roldan, and Jackson Ewell. Okay, so first name that I see that gets me excited is, of course, Paxton Pomykal, having a great season this past season with FC Dallas. Really excited to see him try to hopefully control the midfield and control the attacking mind for the USA going forward. I'm really, really impressed with Paxton Pomykal. I think he's another good up-and-coming player for the national team. Of course, we got players like Brendan Aronson, who's kind of making a name for himself in the Philadelphia roster. I think he had a pretty decent season so far with Philly. I'm excited to see him grow. Christian Kappas and Brian Kao, I believe, getting their first national team call-up. Brian Kao, if you guys are not familiar, don't worry, because I am also not very familiar. He's an unattached player, which I believe means he doesn't have a team right now. He did appear for the U.S. under-17 rosters a couple years ago or last year or something like that. So he is in the mix for the USA somewhere down the line, but he's finally making it to the big leagues at only, I believe, 17 years old. I think he is the youngest player on this roster, so that's going to be exciting to see. I hope he shows me some good excitement, some good technical ability, something good that really wows me. To be like, yeah, this kid is legit. He really deserved this call-up. So if you guys are familiar with this with Kyle, please let me know down below. Let me know how his playing style is. Let me know if you guys are also excited to see him get this roster call-up. Sebastian Lletget, Christian Roldan. Sebastian Lletget, I got nothing against. I think he's pretty decent. I know he had some injury problems before that kept him out of some rosters. So I think he's a pretty decent player. Christian Roldan, you guys know, I'm sure you guys feel the same way. We could do better. We can do much better. Hopefully Jackson Ewell takes the starting line starting his position spot from Christian Roldan. And Christian Kappas is a player who plays in the Danish league for Hobro, who is very unknown. I have no idea who this dude is. I had to look him up on SoFIFA just to see if he has a face or anything, and he does. Christian Kappas, center midfield for a Danish side, Hobro, in the Danish league, obviously. Getting the call up. He played 19 games so far out of 20 games for his club, giving 2 assists and having a pretty good season so far. So I'm really excited to see if he can make an impact and turn fans on to him, as well as being another prospect coming up through the ranks for the USA. And finally, we're on to the big boys, the forwards, the players where everyone looks at first. And of course, the first name you see that gets you excited here is, of course, Yazzie Zardes. I'm just kidding. Let's break them down. Paul Arriola, Jesus Ferreira, Jonathan Lewis, Ulysses Yanez, Jordan Morris, and Yazzie Zardes. Okay, I was kidding up with Zardes before. The first play you see that makes you excited for lots of American soccer fans who have been following this kid, Ulysses Yanez. This player from Wolfsburg, who's been playing mostly for their youth team, has been absolutely tearing it up. He's been blowing up Twitter. He's been blowing up like whatever. Like he's an exciting dude. I'm excited to see this kid make an appearance, hopefully a starting appearance for the national team. This guy could be hopefully the savior for all of our forwards. This guy could put Zardes out of work. This guy could put fucking Josie Altidore out. Like even Josh Sargent, I'd say. Okay, Josh Sargent is pretty good, but I think Ulysses Yanez, his name is so fucking tricky. Yanez, I'm gonna call him. He has way more potential than anyone I've ever seen so far, or way more than I've seen in recent years. No one has most talked about overhyped potential than Freddie Adu, and that's a fact. And then we had Julian Green, but Ulysses Yanez is another player who I think is getting lots of momentum, and he's really showing that he's the fucking real deal. At least I hope he continues to be that way. Another player that I'm excited for is, of course, Jesus Ferreira, a player who was representing Colombia for a little bit, or he was Colombian, but he finally got his citizenship for the USA like 2 weeks ago on December 16th, which made him eligible to represent the USA on the national team level. This guy, another player I'm excited to see. I'm so excited he transferred over to the USA. He had a breakout season last year with FC Dallas, along with Paxton Pomykal and Reggie Cannon. FC Dallas continuing to pump out youth products like fucking crazy. This guy had he played like 33 games, had made 8 goals. Like, come on, this guy is the real deal. Oh, this guy seems to be I'm not gonna say real deal. I don't want to jinx anybody. This guy seems to be showing lots of great potential, and I'm very excited to see him continue that potential and hopefully get some appearance here and some selection here by Gregg Berhalter, and hopefully like some minutes. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say some minutes. Hopefully get some minutes. Then we got, of course, Paul Arriola. No big deal. Pretty pacey winger. That's pretty much all he is. Jonathan Lewis as well. I have not been surprised so far by Jonathan Lewis. Jordan Morris, I am very excited to see as well. I hope he does start along with young players like Ferreira and Yanez. Jordan Morris, I think, had a rejuvenated season last year with Seattle Sounders, playing from, instead of down the middle where usually he plays for the national team, they pushed him out to the right hand, to the wings. He's been playing way better on the wings, and that's a fact. And I hope he continues to play on the wings over Paul Arriola and Jonathan Lewis. And of course, we got fucking Yazzie Zardes, bro. Like, when you guys look at this roster, there's so many unknown names, so many like small known, like, unknown, well-known players. Okay, not many known players. The player who has the most caps right now on this roster with 55 is Yazzie fucking Zardes. That's insane, bro. I'm so overseeing this dude's name. Like, I hope that Jesus Ferreira, Ulysses Yanez comes out and fucking destroys Costa Rica, playing well together, just fucking speeding through, scoring goals. Like, dude, if that happens and Gregg Berhalter still doesn't call him up for bigger games, I'm gonna be fucking. I don't know what I would do. I would just like, I don't know. I have to drink a lot because I would be so stressed out if Zardes starts over players with that caliber. Like, so far, Yanez and Ferreira seem to be way better than Zardes already. So hopefully they continue to impress me and impress the rest of the USA fan base, and hopefully the rest of the USA everything foundation, whatever. But that's pretty much it. That is my roster reaction to this. I'm very excited, like I said, to see some of the young kids get some minutes under their belt, get some some practice, some experience, to then hopefully get called up for at least the CONCACAF semifinals. And then if they do well there, then a couple weeks later it's going to be the Hex to qualify for the World Cup. And I hope that some players on this roster are able to impress Gregg Berhalter enough that he calls them up for the rest of the year and the rest of time that he has, which is probably going to be a long time. I can see Gregg Berhalter being the manager until like 2030 because like place fucking corrupt. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below on this roster. As always, I missed you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Peace.